going on, y'all? It is Saturday, cloudy Saturday. It's supposed to rain this evening.
Saturday in the park.
Waiting on the 4th of July. Me and Pops are in the shop. And it's about 8:45 right now. We've been down here for a little while. Pops ran this morning and got bolts, grade 8 bolts that we needed to get the engine in the chassis in our car. And we had to have new flywheel bolts. We had to have some grade 8 hardware to put our motor mounts on the block. And we had to have some more grade 8 to go through the motor mounts into the mounts on the car, because we robbed ours to build cars with. So Pops went and got all the grade 8 bolts this morning that we needed to bolt the new engine in the car. And so we picked up the new engine yesterday afternoon. Shout out to Brian Mitchell, Morgan Willingham, and all the great folks at Twisted Performance and Machine. By far the nicest engine we've ever had. So we thank them very much. And Pops and I, what we've decided to do, we tinkered with it yesterday evening. Obviously, we're working on Carson Tripp's factory stock, which is number 12. So we're busy on that. And what we're going to do is, since the engine and the engine hoist is in the way, we're going to go ahead and put the flywheel on the engine, put our motor mounts on, and get it set in the car. And that way it'll be out of the way. And then after we get done working on Carson's factory stock frame today, then we can tinker with our motor, starting bolting power steering, water pump, all that stuff on. And I got something else I'm going to show you. So y'all hang out. I'll turn the camera around and show y'all the new power plant. Y'all hang out. Alrighty. Well, there she is. Brand new Twisted In Performance factory stock engine. It is 40 over, 358 cubic inch. 062 Vortec heads. And it has a scat crank. Thanks to one of our sponsors. Y'all sent it to us. I've got my list over there somewhere. I have to look. And so the crank was sponsored. The intake was sponsored. I want to say, I don't know if anything else in the engine, in the inside, was sponsored. I don't think so. Brian and Morgan put their rods, Scat 5.7 rods. I think they're Molly Power Pack pistons. And they do all the specs on it. So we just carried them a block, a crankshaft, an intake, and the heads. And they done their thing with it. So they put all their valve train in the heads, the valves and everything. And then, of course, they have a custom cam that they put in these. Of course, we have to pull 16-inch of vacuum. So we'll have to put us a vacuum port right here. And there she is. The new power plant for Old Purple over there. We're excited about it. Like I said, we thank them very much for building us a nice piece. And we're really excited to have such a good motor. Like I said, this is the nicest one we've ever had. So Pops and I, back when I ran Outlaws, we had a nice 362 that Pops built. Well, actually, Pops and I built right here in this shop. And with unfortunate circumstance, we were at Thunder Hill one night, went out for hot laps, and was really fast in hot laps. They were actually making us Roman Limited that night because we showed up with 10-inch wheels and late model tires. So they had changed the rules and we didn't know it. They went back to an 8-inch wheel and tire rule. So at the time we didn't know it, and we showed up with 10-inch wheels and late model pull-offs. So we had to move up, run limited. And I can't remember how fast we were. I think we were mid-pack with a old leaf spring stock clip Outlaw car. And that engine that Pops built was, like I said, 60 over, 4-bolt main. And it had double humps on it, or did it have the 375 angle plugs on it?
375.
Yeah, had some old angle plug heads on it. And we come in for hot laps. Car sounded perfect. And I went to crank it to go out for the heat race, and it turned over once in hydrolock. So Dad pulled a spark plug out and water ran out of the cylinder. So it had a cracked cylinder wall. But anyway, that was probably the nicest motor we had in a race car other than a crate. I mean, we've had 602 crates, but I don't necessarily call them nice. Assembly line engines is what they are. But anyway, so this is a super nice piece. We're very thankful to have this. We can't wait to put it in. We can't wait to get our car finished up. North Alabama is practicing today. Obviously, we're not going to make that. So that's why we're trying to get this thing together.
If it don't rain.
Yeah, if it don't rain. It's supposed to rain. I think they said afternoon and evening showers. So that's why we're trying to get this thing together, is so Pops and I can get it to the racetrack and get it shook down and get me shook down. That's going to be the biggest thing. The car, I have complete faith in. It's my driving skill that I don't. So that's what we're going to do. I'll probably throw it up on time lapse. We're going to get the flywheel on it, clutch, pressure plate, and all that bolted to it. Pop's got all grade 8 bolts for the flywheel. Y'all seen it in the last video, or the video before last, where we struggled to get the bolts out of the pressure plate because they were those header bolt type, kind of like this, and they were stripped off. So we bought a regular hex head grade 8 bolt to put in the pressure plate. So I want to throw it on time lapse. We're going to get all that bolted together and see if we can't get that stuck over in the hole and get it out of the way. And then we'll be jumping over here on Carson's factory stock, and we're going to start slinging some tubing. Obviously, Pops and I have been busy on it. Mock-up engine is mounted in it. Motor mounts are tacked. All of our plating where we tie into the frame is welded in. Frame rail box, outside bar, and our 2x2 is all welded in. So we're ready to go. We also got the spring cups. Y'all remember me talking about doing that first this time? So our spring cups are in there. So we got all that ready to go. Now it's just slinging tubing. And once we get started on it here in a little while, it'll look totally different. So that's where we're at. Y'all hang out. We're going to stick an engine in a factory stock. We wore out, y'all. Me and Daddy wore slap out. We've been wrestling with this daggum thing. I don't know if the center line of the cranks was a little different. Flywheel's obviously different because it's a stock flywheel, where that was a ram flywheel on that crate motor. Daggum. We've been wrestling with this thing for an hour, trying to figure out why the transmission wouldn't go up in the bell housing. But we knew that we had to re-shim our throwout bearing, so we were working on that. But I had to clearance the hole in the back of the bell housing a little bit just so the transmission would go in there. But we finally got it all bolted back together. Now we fix to stick it in the car finally. And we got our fingers crossed that nothing else goes wrong. Because dadgum, it's been brutal. Brutal. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to throw it up on time lapse now. We're going to put it in this car and pray that nothing goes wrong. Y'all hang out. All right. All right. We got her bolted in. All the motor mount bolts are tight. Everything on the transmission's tight. Y'all seen in the time lapse, Pops was over there working. He went ahead and tied in the starter wire while we were down there. I went ahead and put the clutch line back on. We'll have to bleed that. What we's gonna show you. We picked up this jewel right here. This is a TCC 4412. This was Dustin Riley's carburetor that he ran last season. Real good carburetor. Dustin had obviously good luck with it, a couple wins, and some really good runs with it. So Dustin was kind enough to sell it to us because he's taking the year off and gonna help his dad race. So we appreciate Dustin very much, and that'll give us a good carburetor to put on this new motor. So we appreciate him and appreciate Twisted, of course. Like I said earlier, we've been fighting this thing, man. We've been fighting this thing. And it's not anything on the motor end. It was just all the bell housing and throw out bearing and getting all that lined up and fixed. So what we're going to do, the Pops is kind of getting an idea of everything we need. Of course, our fittings to go in the intake for our temp sensor, which I think the temp sensor is that size. But we have to have an adapter to go to our gauge.
Adapter and this and
Yeah.
gauge.
So we'll get all that put on it. We'll start putting pulleys, water pump, and everything back on it. Headers, and get it ready to go. Because, like I said, man, there's practice today, and there's some more practices coming up. So we definitely want to get this thing going to where we can get to some of them and get ready for the season. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. We are about to get busy on that. So,
Yep.
Carson Tripp, buddy, we got you some tubing about to be slinging. We just wanted to get that over in there, get it out of the way. We fought with it for a little bit. So now it's time to get to work, unfortunately. But this is what we love doing. It's what we're going to keep doing. We thank y'all again for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for us. That's the best way you can support us and watch these videos. Like it, share it. We thank y'all very much. Shout out to Twisted Performance and Machine, Brian Mitchell, Morgan Willingham, everyone at Twisted Performance. Dustin Riley, thank you for the carburetor. So,
All the guys that stayed after hours yesterday to help us pick up our motor.
yeah, there was some guys there yesterday when we got there, and they clocked out right as we got there. So they hung out and got it loaded for us and got us on the road. And we appreciate them very much. Well, we're ready. We're excited. Ready to get this thing scaled out and get the body finished on it, which we don't like much. We just like doing the hood, fender side on the driver's side, getting everything put together, and then body bracing and put our plastic trim around the bottom. And then we got to get our shocks on and nut and bolt check the whole thing again.
Yep.
Before we hit the racetrack with it. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing. And until next time.
Appreciate it, guys, gals. Thank y'all very much. And if you're racing, coming up soon, be safe. And all you folks that's in the cold weather part that's coming up, stay warm. Till next time, God bless you.
See y'all.